This episode is brought to you by CoolStuffInc.com, the #1 seller of games and gaming accessories. And GatheringMagic.com, the #1 resource for Magic the Gathering news and articles.
Hi, I'm Patrick, and this is my Reki, the History of Kamigawa Commander deck. This is Reki. He was a fun alternative to most of the other mono green generals. There's a small legend theme in the deck, but it's not overwhelming. But whenever I do with the legend engine going, it gets really strong. There's 34 forests in the deck, which is pretty relevant because there are 2 mana flare effects, and when you get those going, the deck just goes nuts. So let's get those out of the way. 4 non-basics, terrain generator. Puts your forests into play quicker, lets you cast your big spells quicker. Strip Mine and Ghost Quarter, both destroy trouble non-basics for you. And Reliquary Tower, because when you get the Legend Engine going, your hand needs to be 10, 15 cards, and you don't want to discard. Get into the creatures. Scute Mob, little dude, cast him early. Once you start getting your forests into play, it gets really, really big, really, really quick. Magus the Candelabra is pretty irrelevant sometimes, but when you get the mana flares, he lets you go nuts. Joraga Treespeaker, early accelerant. While it blossoms, blocks, and draws you a card. Vinelasher Kudzu, scales. He can get for a lot of damage early. Gaea's Herald, you gotta beat the mono blue deck somehow. I mean, Eldrazi are a thing, and I don't like losing to him, so this guy helps that. Sakura-Tribe Elder, early accelerant. Loaming Shaman, needs some graveyard hate, might as well have it attached to a 3/2 body. Azusa used to be my old general, but I want to try something a little different. She still helps you accelerate to your 6 drops early. Dosan, another way to beat the mono blue decks. Dungrove Elder, scales just like the Kudzu, except usually he's a little bit bigger. Eternal Witness, get back whatever card, like you can get back Mindslaver most of the time, or a fatty. Yavimaya Elder, he's the draw 3 in the deck, the other draw 3 besides Harmonize. Mirri, she's a cheap legend, lets you go off with the Cloudstone Curio. Obstinate Baloth, the 4/4 gains you 4 life, pretty useful. Glissa Sunseeker, one of the most powerful legends in the deck, destroys your opponent's Soul Ring early, destroys their Gauntlet of Power late, and pretty strong. People like playing Bribery and Mind Control where I play, so this card's really nice to have. Brooding Saurian, people will bribery you and they'll take your, whatever the biggest creature in your deck is, this will get it back for you. Iwamori is my group hug card. When you play multiplayer, some people love you for playing him and some people hate it, so you'll get mixed results with him. Wolfbriar, really good when you have a lot of mana. Ayumi, 7/3 legendary landwalk's almost always irrelevant, but she draws me a card and she beats down. Vorpede, he's fat once and he's fat again. Kamal, overrun effect is pretty nice to have, repeatable even. Occasionally making a couple of your lands into dudes and overrunning will win you the game. He's usually a 4/4, sometimes bigger when you get the engine going, but that's about it. Silvos, 8 power for 6 mana is pretty strong, I like it. Namada, one of your 2 main token generators. When you get the mana flares going, he usually wins the game. Cloud Thresher really doesn't destroy flyers very often, it's more of a 7/7 removal spell. Jugan, cheap legend, cheapish legend, that pumps another dude when he dies. Moldgraf Monstrosity, gets back 2 of your fatties when he dies, and your deck's mostly fatties. Malimo, Dungrove Elder, but he costs 7, but he has trample, so, and he draws you a card. Living Hive, big fat creature, when he connects, it's hard to lose. Precursor Golem, 9 power for 5 mana, something I like. Steel Hellkite, destroys tokens really well, and people who have a lot of mana rocks is really nice against. Artisan of Kozilek, fatty that gets back a fatty. Blightsteel wins you the game pretty easily. It betrays the second Blightsteel Colossus, but not quite as good. A couple instances in sorceries. Got Kadama's Reach for some acceleration. Beacon of Creation when you want to make a lot of insects. Sky Shroud Claim gets you 2 forests, they come in untap, so you can typically go off with that the same turn. Harmonize draws you 3. Sunny Growth, one of my favorite cards in the deck. it makes them discard 3, but then it makes them discard 3 again because they have to draw the same cards. Primal Command, usually it's a half a Plow Under and a Tutor, but sometimes you need to get a creature out of the graveyard, so you'll put it on top of the deck and make them shuffle. Noxious Revival gets back Mindslaver or Primal Command or Harmonize. Sometimes you gotta stay alive, and sometimes you gotta stay alive twice, so that's where Moment's Peace comes in. This will protect an important legend and give them evasion, so that's kind of nice to have. You gotta destroy enchantments and artifacts on occasion, so Seal of Primordium's a good one. Primal Order is one of my favorite cards in the deck. Against the 5-color, even the 3-color decks, it'll deal between 3 and 6 damage a turn usually. Flowing Chalice, Acceleration, Mana Vault, and Soul Ring, cheap mana rocks. Mind Stone's also a cheap mana rock. O-Stone, you gotta blow up the world. Horn of Ramos, another accelerant, and Cloudstone Curio. This is the card that makes Legend Engine go. You play Legend, bounce another one, and you just keep drawing cards. Coalition Relic, cheap acceleration. Exoplanal Range, one of the 2 mana flares in the deck. Thrawn Dynamo, acceleration. Gauntlet of Power, second mana flare. Mindslaver, gotta take their turn, and it's probably the most powerful card in the deck. Dreamstone Hedron, it takes you from 6 to 9 mana, but usually it draws you 3 cards. And Eternity Vessel, really fun in multiplayer, because people aren't trying to kill you as much with general damage in multiplayer, and it takes it back to 40 every time. Thanks for watching CMDR decks, please subscribe and favorite.